Have you ever felt trapped, pouring your heart into chasing success, love, or happiness, only to watch everything crumble? Those sleepless nights, shattered plans, and endless manifestation attempts that lead nowhere. Do you wonder, why isn't the universe listening? In this powerful video, inspired by Carl Jung's profound wisdom, we uncover a secret that changes everything. Doing nothing isn't defeat. It's the key to aligning your life. Surrender doesn't mean giving up. It's awakening. What happens when you stop controlling and let your soul guide you? Could your unconscious mind be silently sabotaging your dreams? Join us on a transformative journey to heal, confront your shadow, and discover how to attract everything you desire by simply letting go. Are you ready to unlock the magic of stillness and watch your world fall into place? You've faced the question, what part of you have you hidden? It's a spark, a crack in the mask you've worn for years. But knowing your shadow isn't enough. Now you must stop running from it. Carl Jung warned that avoiding your darkness doesn't make it disappear. It festers, bleeding into every choice, every relationship, every moment you sabotage because a voice whispers, "You don't deserve this." That voice isn't fate, it's your unclaimed shadow calling you to face it. Jungian philosophy doesn't ask you to be perfect. It demands you be whole, and wholeness means embracing both your light and your chaos. Why do we run? Because the shadow feels dangerous. It's the anger you buried after being told it's ugly, the vulnerability you locked away to seem strong. But here's the secret Jung knew. You can't outrun your shadow. You can drown it in achievements, affirmations, or even spirituality. But it's still there, shaping your life in ways you don't see. That argument you avoid, that dream you abandon, that fear you can't name, they're your shadow speaking. Jung said, "I aspire to be a whole man, not a good one." Wholeness means owning the part of you that loves fiercely and the part that wants to burn it all down. Shadow work isn't about destroying your darkness. It's about listening to it. Every trigger is a teacher. That friend you judge for being needy, they mirror the vulnerability you've disowned. That coworker you call fake, they reflect the mask you wear but hate. Jung taught that projections are mirrors, showing you what you've buried. Your jealousy isn't hate. It's longing misdirected. Your guilt isn't a verdict. It's a wound begging for care. Stop pretending these feelings don't exist. Stop shaming them. Instead, ask, what are you trying to tell me? The moment you do, your shadow stops being your enemy and becomes your guide. This is where healing begins, not by escaping who you are, but by fearlessly embracing it. You don't need to be kinder, stronger, or better to start. You need to be real. Jungian shadow work is raw, unfiltered, and sometimes ugly, but it's the only path to your true purpose. If you keep running, you'll keep circling the same fears, the same mistakes. But if you stop, if you turn and face your shadow, you'll find a power you never knew you had. So, take a breath. What's one truth you've been avoiding? Say it out loud. That's where your freedom begins. You've felt it, haven't you? That hollow ache, the sense that something's off, even when life looks perfect on the outside. Carl Jung didn't just name this feeling, he gave it a purpose. He called it your shadow, the raw, unfiltered parts of you that you've buried to fit in, to be loved, to survive. It's the anger you suppress, the envy you deny, the desires you push down because someone, somewhere, told you they were too much. But here's the truth Jung uncovered. Your shadow isn't a flaw. It's your compass. It's the key to unlocking your life's purpose. hidden beneath everything you've been taught to hide. Jungian philosophy teaches us that true self-awareness isn't about polishing your persona, the smiling, obedient mask you wear for the world. It's about daring to meet the you that exists when no one's watching. Who are you when the applause fades, when there's no one to impress? Most of us know our job titles, our favorite songs, the polite version of ourselves we present to avoid judgment. But Jung wasn't interested in that performance. He wanted to know the parts of you labeled too emotional, too angry, or too selfish. Why? Because those are the parts that hold your power. Shadow work begins with a single terrifying question. What have you disowned about yourself? The rage you swallow to keep the peace. That's untapped strength screaming for boundaries. The jealousy you're ashamed of. That's a map to your deepest desires, pointing to what your soul craves. Even the laziness you hate, it's not weakness, it's resistance to a life that doesn't light you up. Jung wrote, "The sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being." He didn't say to run from your darkness. He said to walk into it, because that's where your light is buried, not in perfection, but in the messy, unfiltered truth of who you are. This isn't about becoming someone new. It's about reclaiming who you've always been. If you're feeling lost, drained, or empty, you're not broken. You're being called. Called to peel back the mask, to face the shadow you've avoided, and to discover the strength that's been waiting all along. So let's take the first step together. Ask yourself, what part of me have I been hiding? The answer might scare you, but it will also set you free. You've stopped running from your shadow, daring to face the parts of yourself you once buried. But what now? Carl Jung didn't just want you to see your darkness. He wanted you to harness it. Your shadow isn't a burden to carry. It's raw, untamed fuel waiting to ignite your life's purpose. Those dark traits you've been taught to shame, anger, envy, laziness, aren't flaws to erase. They're messengers, each carrying a spark of truth about who you are and what you're meant to do. Take anger. You've suppressed it, fearing it's destructive, but Jung saw it as a sword of boundaries. That burning rage isn't chaos, it's your soul screaming, "This isn't right." When you listen, it sharpens your resolve, pushing you to protect what matters. I once knew someone who channeled their anger into advocacy, turning personal pain into a movement for change. What could your anger build if you stopped fighting it? Then there's envy, the emotion we're told is ugly. But Jungian philosophy reveals it's not hate, it's longing. That pang you feel watching someone live your dream, it's your heart whispering, "That could be you." Envy isn't a sin, it's a roadmap to your unclaimed desires. Shadow work teaches you to decode it, to ask, what do I truly want? That jealousy you feel might be the push you need to chase a career, a passion, or a life you've been too scared to claim. Even laziness, the trait we vilify, has a purpose. It's not weakness. It's resistance to a life that doesn't align with your soul. Jung believed every dark emotion holds wisdom. If you're procrastinating, avoiding, or feeling stuck, your shadow is signaling, this path isn't yours. Listen, and it can guide you toward what truly lights you up. Shadow work isn't about destroying these traits, it's about leading them. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this anger or envy? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? Is it protecting you or holding you back? When you integrate these energies, something powerful happens. Your anger becomes leadership. Your envy fuels ambition. Your laziness sharpens focus on what matters. Jung once said, "Who looks inside awakens." By embracing your dark traits, you're not just healing, you're forging a path to purpose. So, what's one shadow you've judged? Look at it closely. It's not your enemy. It's the fuel to become unstoppable. You've learned to see your shadow as fuel, anger as boundaries, envy as ambition, laziness as a call to realign. But knowing this isn't enough. Carl Jung didn't just study the shadow to understand it. He urged us to live through it. Shadow work isn't a diary entry or a meditation session you check off. It's a call to action. Too many get trapped in spiritual procrastination, endlessly journaling about their triggers, binge-watching self-help videos, or memorizing terms like inner child and shadow integration. They feel wise, but nothing changes. Why? Because understanding without movement is just a clever disguise for fear. Jung said, "You are what you do, not what you say you'll do." Your shadow's power, its rage, longing, or resistance, only ignites when you act on its wisdom. That anger you've harnessed, use it to say no to a toxic relationship or to fight for a cause that stirs your soul. I once met someone who turned their envy of artists into action, picking up a paintbrush after years of self-doubt. Today, they create with purpose. What could your shadow inspire if you stopped waiting for the right moment? The trap is thinking clarity comes first. You might wait for confidence, for permission, for a sign that you're ready. But Jungian philosophy teaches that clarity emerges from action. Every step you take, however messy or small, reveals the path. That uncomfortable conversation you've avoided, have it. That dream you've buried because it feels too big, start with one bold move. Shadow work isn't about perfection, it's about progress. Each action integrates your shadow further, turning its raw energy into purpose. If you're stuck, ask, what's one thing my shadow's been urging me to do? Maybe it's setting a boundary, chasing a passion, or simply admitting what you want. The answer might scare you, but fear is just your shadow testing your resolve. Don't let it win by staying still. Jung believed the soul evolves through struggle, not contemplation. So move, write that first draft, make that call, take that risk. The world doesn't care about your insights. It sees your choices. Stop hiding in self-help theories. Your purpose isn't found in thoughts, it's forged in deeds. What's the smallest step you can take today to honor your shadow? Do it. That's where your awakening begins. You're ready to act, to turn your shadow's energy into purpose, but something holds you back. It's not laziness or lack of desire, it's fear. Carl Jung knew fear isn't just an obstacle. It's a compass pointing to your growth. Shadow work demands action, but fear disguises itself as procrastination, perfectionism, or endless planning. You tell yourself you need more time, more skills, or the perfect moment. But deep down, you're stalling because moving forward means facing the unknown, and that's terrifying. Jungian philosophy reveals that fear doesn't protect you. It protects your comfort zone, where nothing grows. What are you really afraid of? Failing? Succeeding? Outgrowing the people around you? I once knew someone who feared starting a business, worried they'd lose their family's approval. When they finally faced that fear, they didn't just find success, they found themselves. Fear isn't a stop sign. It's a signal you're on the edge of transformation. Shadow work teaches you to see fear as a teacher. That knot in your stomach when you think about speaking your truth, it's your shadow saying, "This matters." The dread of being judged, it's a clue you're stepping into authenticity. Jung didn't aspire to a fearless life. He aspired to wholeness, which means walking through fear, not around it. Every trigger, every hesitation is a mirror reflecting what you've avoided. To integrate your shadow, you must act despite the fear. So, how do you start? Name your fear. Is it rejection? Failure? Being seen for who you truly are? Say it out loud. I'm scared, but I'm moving forward. Then take one small step. Send that email. Share that idea. Admit what you want. Each action chips away at fear's grip, turning your shadow's raw power into a purpose. Jung wrote, "Who looks inside awakens." Awakening isn't the absence of fear. It's the courage to move while it screams in your ear. Don't let fear write your story. You've spent years letting it decide what's safe, what's possible. Now, it's time to take the pen. Your purpose lies on the other side of what scares you most. Ask yourself, what's one fear I've let control me? What would happen if I faced it today? The answer might shake you, but it will also free you. Shadow work isn't about feeling ready. It's about choosing to act, fear and all. Step into the unknown. That's where your true self is waiting. You've faced your fears, stepping into the unknown to reclaim your shadow's power. But what about the pain that lingers? The heartbreak, the betrayal, the moments that left you shattered. Carl Jung didn't see pain as punishment. He saw it as a teacher. In Jungian philosophy, every wound, every scar is an invitation to grow deeper, to uncover your life's purpose. Shadow work isn't about erasing pain. It's about listening to what it's trying to show you. Think of a time you felt broken. Maybe it was a lost relationship, a failure that crushed your confidence, or a quiet season of anxiety that felt endless. You thought it was the end, but Jung would argue it was the beginning. Pain strips away the masks you wear, forcing you to face the raw truth of who you are. I once knew someone who, after a devastating breakup, discovered their strength by setting boundaries they'd never dared before. That pain wasn't a mistake, it was a wake-up call. Shadow work reveals that pain is a mirror. Your grief reflects what you value most. Your anger shows where you need to stand firm. Even your deepest depression can spark a hunger for meaning. Jung said, "Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness." This isn't to scare you, but to free you. Every struggle you've survived has shaped you, not to weaken you, but to forge you. That rejection you faced, it taught you resilience. That betrayal, it showed you what you'll never tolerate again. Pain isn't the problem. It's proof you're alive, evolving, and in the middle of becoming. So, how do you learn from pain? Start by sitting with it. Don't run, don't numb it, don't pretend it's gone. Ask, what is this pain teaching me? Is it showing me a boundary I need to set? A dream I've ignored? A truth I've buried? Shadow work turns pain into power by helping you see it as a guide, not a cage. Jung believed the soul grows through what it endures. Your purpose isn't found in perfect days, but in the storms you weather. What pain have you been avoiding? Lean into it. Let it speak. It's not here to break you. It's here to build you. The lessons it holds are the stepping stones to your true self. Dare to listen, and you'll find your purpose waiting in the depths. You've embraced your pain as a teacher, letting it guide you to truths buried deep within your shadow. But don't expect purpose to appear like a gift from the heavens. Carl Jung would have scoffed at the idea of purpose as something you stumble upon. In Jungian philosophy, purpose isn't found, it's forged. It's carved from the raw material of your struggles, your choices, and the courage to keep moving through the dark. Shadow work shows that every wound you've faced, every lesson pain has taught you, is a piece of the purpose you're building. Think about the moments that shaped you. That heartbreak that taught you boundaries didn't just heal you, It pushed you to value yourself. That failure that stung, it forced you to redefine success on your terms. Jung didn't wait for clarity. He dove into the human soul's depths, studying trauma and shadow to uncover meaning. His purpose emerged through action, not waiting. I once knew someone who, after years of feeling lost, used their pain from rejection to start mentoring others. Their purpose wasn't handed to them. It was built through messy, intentional steps. Shadow work reveals that purpose grows in discomfort. It's not a treasure buried in some distant land. It's the emotional scar tissue you earn by choosing to rise after every fall. You forge purpose when you act on your pain's lessons, when you set boundaries, chase dreams, or serve others despite the hurt. Jung said, "The soul is here to evolve." Evolution happens when you choose the meaningful struggle over distraction, that project you're scared to start, that quiet urge to help someone. Those are sparks of purpose waiting for you to fan them into flame. So, how do you forge purpose? Start where you are. Take one lesson your pain has taught you. Maybe it's resilience, compassion, or the need for change, and act on it. Help someone. Create something. Speak your truth. Each choice, no matter how small, hammers your purpose into shape. Don't wait for a grand revelation. Ask, what pain has made me stronger? How can I use it to make a difference? The answers won't be perfect, but they'll be real. Shadow work isn't about finding a finish line. It's about crafting a life that feels true. Your purpose is the sum of your struggles, your courage, and the steps you take today. What's one lesson your pain has taught you? Use it. Forge your path now. You've forged your purpose through pain, action, and the courage to shape your own path. But purpose alone isn't enough. It's the integration of your shadow and light that unlocks true power. Carl Jung taught that wholeness, not perfection, is the goal of shadow work. When you embrace both your darkness and your light, you don't just find meaning, you become a force that heals, leads, and transforms. Jungian philosophy shows that the most impactful lives, think Martin Luther King Jr. or Nelson Mandela, weren't built on flawlessness, but on integrating their wounds, anger, and pain into wisdom and change. Integration means owning every part of you. Your rage, once suppressed, becomes a voice for justice. Your shame, once hidden, fuels compassion for others. I knew someone who transformed their childhood trauma into a mission to mentor youth, their pain becoming a beacon for those lost in the dark. Shadow work isn't about erasing your flaws. It's about weaving them into your strength. Jung said, "I'd rather be whole than good." Wholeness is power, the kind that makes people stop and listen when you speak, not because you're loud, but because you're real. This power isn't about control or dominance, it's about presence. When you integrate your shadow, you stop fighting yourself. Your triggers no longer derail you, they guide you. Your fears don't paralyze, they sharpen your focus. You become magnetic because you've made peace with your chaos. Jungian integration turns your inner war into harmony, letting your purpose shine through every word, every action. People feel it. They're drawn to your authenticity, not your perfection. So, how do you integrate? Start by honoring your shadow daily. Notice when you're triggered. Don't judge it. Explore it. What's it teaching you? Take one small act to align with your truth. Speak up, create, or forgive. Each choice knits your light and dark together. Ask, what part of my shadow have I resisted today? How can I lead it instead of letting it lead me? The world craves whole people, not perfect ones. Your integrated self, flaws, pain, and all, isn't just powerful, it's revolutionary. Shadow work builds this power by making you undeniable, not because you've erased your darkness, but because you've mastered it. What strength could your shadow unleash if you fully owned it? Step into that wholeness. That's where your legacy begins. You've integrated your shadow, weaving light and darkness into a powerful whole self. But there is one final barrier to living this truth: the mask you wear. Carl Jung called it the persona, the polished, socially acceptable version of you, crafted to blend in, to be liked, to avoid judgment. Shadow work has brought you to wholeness, but that power stays locked away if you keep hiding behind this facade. Jungian philosophy demands you break the mask, not to fit in, but to stand out as your unfiltered, authentic self. The persona is a survival tool. It's the smile you force, the yes you say to please others, the dreams you bury to avoid rocking the boat. But wearing it too long traps your soul. I knew someone who spent years playing the perfect employee, suppressing their creative shadow to fit a corporate mold. When they finally quit to pursue art, their world didn't collapse, it expanded. Breaking the mask freed their purpose. What's your mask hiding? Jung warned that the world loves the mask. It claps for the version of you that's predictable, safe, not too loud or too real. But shadow work isn't about applause. It's about liberation. To live your integrated self, you must risk discomfort. Speak your truth, even if it shakes relationships. Chase your passion, even if it puzzles others. Let the mask crack, even if it means being misunderstood. Jung said, your soul is not here to be liked. It's here to be liberated. Authenticity is your rebellion against a world that rewards conformity. So how do you break the mask? Start small, but bold. Share one truth you've hidden. Maybe a fear, a dream, or a boundary. Notice when you're performing to please others and choose to pause. Ask, what part of me am I hiding to be accepted? Who would I be without this mask? The answers might scare you, but they'll also ignite you. Shadow work builds courage to live unapologetically, not as the world's version of you, but as the raw, messy, radiant self you've uncovered. This isn't about perfection, it's about presence. When you shed the persona, you'll feel alive, not because everyone approves, but because you're finally you. Your purpose shines brightest when you stop pretending. What's one mask you've worn too long? Dare to let it fall. The world may not cheer, but your soul will. That's the power Jung promised, a life set free by truth. You've broken the mask, choosing authenticity over conformity, letting your true self shine. But this is more than just living honestly. It's the gateway to individuation, Carl Jung's ultimate vision for the soul. Jungian philosophy describes individuation as your hero's journey within, a sacred path to becoming whole by embracing every part of you, light, shadow, fears, and dreams. Shadow work has led you here, not to be normal, but to be complete, undeniably you. Individuation isn't about chasing external success or applause. It's about diving inward, facing the shadows you've uncovered, the pain you've learned from, and the truths you've dared to live. Jung feared a world of masks because it buries the soul's potential. I knew someone who, after years of hiding their quirks to fit in, embraced their unique voice as a writer. Their work didn't just inspire, it resonated because it came from their whole, unfiltered self. What could your wholeness unleash? This journey is not a straight line. Every fear you've faced, every wound you've healed, every mask you've shed is a step toward integration. Jung said, the meaning of your life is you. Not your job, your followers, or the boxes you check, but the raw, complex you beneath it all. Shadow work fuels individuation by helping you reclaim what the world told you to hide: your chaos, your passion, your depth. When you integrate these, you don't just find purpose, you become it. So, how do you walk this path? Keep questioning. Who am I when no one's watching? What shadow still needs my attention? Act on the answers, even when it's hard. Speak your truth. Create from your heart. Forgive your flaws. Each choice aligns you with your essence. Individuation makes you unshakable. Not because you're perfect, but because you walked through your inner storms and emerged whole. You'll face chaos with calm, doubt with courage, because you've already met the chaos within. Your life's purpose isn't a destination, it's the you that emerges from this journey. What part of yourself have you yet to claim? Dare to explore it. Shadow work isn't about fixing you. It's about freeing you to be everything you are. Jung's promise is clear. When you individuate, you don't just live, you radiate. You become a light, not by hiding your darkness, but by owning it. Step into your hero's journey. The world needs the whole you now more than ever.